We recently spoke with Eminent Gold CEO Dan McCoy about their massive potential of a new gold discovery in Nevada. We're going to link the video above for you so that you can take a look at that after this one. The story of Eminent takes a major strategic leap forward with their latest news. They've appointed Ivan Bebek as a strategic advisor. And for those of you who follow the sector, you'll know that his track record is well known. He co-founded Keegan Resources, a 5 million ounce discovery, and also led Caden Resources to a $205 million buyout by Agnico Eagle. Now the kicker here is Ivan and Dan have spent the last 20 years making discoveries together. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I assume you've seen thousands of projects in your career. Talk to us about what it was about data at Hot Springs that made you decide to officially join the team.
Yeah, well, look, my entire career, it started with Dan McCoy. We've had some great successes together. And I don't know if it's the combination of us working together, the luck that comes out of his backyard or us working together. But we were lucky enough in early days to see an opportunity in Ghana where we found the 5 million ounces of gold. And there was a lot of indications that that deposit was there. By reputation, I'm always an early believer. It's something that really appeals to me from the price entry point of these opportunities. But at Hot Springs Range specifically, we saw every layer of data that we've collected so far, the company's collected so far, has supported the idea that this could be the next major Carlin oxide discovery. When you go look for a gold mine, common question I get asked is, how do you find a gold mine? You start with a concept, a theory, a thesis. And as you peel back each layer, whether you collect the dirt, the soil on top of the target, or whether you put electrical or magnetic currents into the ground, and then eventually drilling it, which Eminent has drilled recently, that's what really kept piling up as one after the other was getting better than the last, supporting that thesis, until finally the most recent drill hole and the previous holes. The company's drilled about 4 holes. They drilled 2 faults. There are several faults. They're quite large. And the 2 faults they drilled both have gold in them, which is outstanding as a walk up to a target that's never been drilled before. But what really caught my attention and gave me the confidence to really step in here is a couple factors. One is the fact that we saw continuous gold. We saw oxide gold, which is incredibly important, but we saw continuous gold over about 9 meters, which could be potentially an economic width. The average grade is about 3 grams. That's a good grade. Grade's going to vary. There's going to be really good grade in parts of these systems, and there's going to be smoke in others. We're seeing both so far. And when you look at the scale of the potential plumbing of a big gold system, being the faults that could possibly have gold on them, so far we're 2 for 2 and the gold grades are increasing. So now it's becoming a drill for discovery story. So for me, the evidence has piled up. It has sequentially gotten better with each layer we've taken back. And now it's ready for a major discovery drilling program at one of the most opportune times in gold's history.
Well, as a follow-up, right, why is finding a standalone oxide system important for the economics side of this and the eventual interest from a major?
Great question. For oxide versus sulfide, oxide is rock that's been oxidized by weathering over time. Sulfide rocks are rocks that are generally fresh rocks. They're deeper down. And the biggest difference is the ability to extract gold out of the rock in a mining scenario. Oxide rocks tend to be more permeable or more brittle. Sulfide rocks tend to be harder, require more crushing, and a lot harder to extract the gold out of them. So in Nevada, I don't believe there's been a big oxide discovery in the last 10 to 15 years, which makes this as a standalone new discovery on a new potential major oxide trend or gold trend, a really special thing. And that's where this really stands out as well. If you look at the company's website, you'll see that it's running parallel, the trend that Hot Springs Range entails, to the Getchell trend, which has about 40 million ounces of gold on it. Most importantly, the same major fault that Turquoise Ridge sits on about 12 miles away or 20 kilometers away, it actually cuts right through Hot Springs Range Otis target where the company's done some drilling. Turquoise Ridge is the richest producing gold mine in the world at about 16 grams per ton average grade. It's a combination of oxide and sulfide, predominantly sulfide. The biggest difference here is Eminent still in the oxide portion, and Eminent's drilled down about 300-400 true depth meters. So it's incredibly enticing to be on the same fault as one of the richest producing gold mine in the world. But seeing the abundance of oxide has really got the attention if you follow the production in Nevada and look at all the mills and all of the type of mines that are being mined there, there's a shortage of oxide discoveries and deposits as well. You mentioned that Kinross became an investor. They came early, and I'm generally the earliest, but they came very early as a major, as they came after the first few holes were drilled, where we saw the smoke. And now, obviously, there's one of the best holes drilled so far was the most recent hole. This validation is critical because Kinross has probably 20 or 30 geologists. They'll know Nevada at an exceptionally deep technical level, scientific level, and seeing them recognize the opportunity early was a tremendous third-party validation. So it's an honor to have them there as a shareholder. I'm a very large shareholder myself. I'm still accumulating the shares based on the news of the most recent results that came out. But if this truly does come to fruition, this is the first of 3 major targets on this trend that the company's exploring, and it's oxide. So it's checking all the key boxes that could deliver a major new gold discovery in Nevada at a time when gold's about to surpass $5,000 an ounce.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're an advisor here focused on corp dev and obviously the financial side of the business. How does having Kinross, right, a tier 1 major already at the cap table, how does it potentially change the strategy for funding the next phase of your discovery?
Sure. Well, great question. Well, Kinross is a $55 billion Canadian gold company. This is a substantial company. It's a major mining company. So from that perspective, obviously it gives a tremendous amount of validation that the potential is there. There's a lot of other majors that have taken notice of the recent result. I'm here to help guide Dan and the team through that transaction, or if another investor does come along the way, or how we do monetize this going forward. Dan, I've had tremendous success doing this in Caden specifically, when we sold Caden to Agnico Eagle, and just a little bit of a report card of how well that's done. We sold Caden at $3.60 per share. If you held shares of Agnico Eagle, it's about $27 per share today since the sale in 2014. Recognizing majors that fit, recognizing which majors to put in. I think, a few more holes here, this is going to become an incredibly competitive project for all of the majors in Nevada to consider. Seeing Kinross there first is very important, but it's going to certainly complement the shareholder registry, and the company's in a position now where it can maximize and monetize a tremendous discovery should the discovery continue to go ahead and be made. The beauty of Eminent and the risk that's involved, it comes down a lot with the last hole. There's still tremendous risk for discovery, but it has a huge amount of targets on this trend, and seeing gold in all places that we've explored so far really drives the confidence that there could be something potentially here that's substantial, and the timing is just surreal. So the complement of Kinross is great validation, and it's something that we are very encouraged that they're in the shareholder registry.
Mm-hmm. Well, with your positive tailwinds, like with the gold prices where they are and Eminent sitting on a fresh discovery, talk to us about what you want to have achieved here by the end of 2026 across the Eminent Gold team.
Yeah, so next phase will be a significant amount of drilling. They're going to do a combination of RC and core drilling for speed and information, and the goal would be to try and get a resource by the end of 12 months from when the drilling starts, so that resource can start getting drilled this year. There's a lot of assumptions there that the resource could exist, but so far seeing gold on both faults and starting to see better grades and widths, the odds of success are tremendous. And as an entrepreneur in the mining business for 25 years, we all have bucket lists, in terms of discovery of where we want to discover, what we want to see. I had a short stint with Gold Standard Ventures, which did really well with the Dark Star discovery in Nevada, but I never had a major Carlin discovery on my belt per se. This is something I've coveted long in my career. Wanted to find a 5 million ounce gold mine, we did in Keegan. Wanted to sell a gold exploration asset, we did. I am chasing world-class copper projects and silver targets as well, and other companies I'm associated with, but this is a chance to be part of a major new Carlin discovery at a time where gold is hitting new paradigms, based on geopolitical and financial, economics of what the macro picture looks like economically. So not only is this a chance for a major discovery, but its timing is surreal. Company has only 78 million shares out. There's about 50% of that is owned by management, some close associates to the company. That's an extremely well shareholder base, including Kinross as a major shareholder of 9.9%. And this gives it the chance to perform really, really well if that discovery is made at a time where major gold discoveries are not being made the way they were a few decades ago. So timing is everything. The opportunity to find a major Carlin system is great. The word Carlin implies, if you look historically at Carlin deposits, they just go on forever. They tend to be plus 10 million ounce discoveries, which would make a huge impact with a small registry like this. And of course, the gold price, as you mentioned, is the perfect tailwind behind this opportunity.
Well, we'll see you on the road in Vancouver, I hope, where it'll be exciting for sure. The buzz will be there.
Looking forward to it, and looking forward to the next round of drilling from the company.
Amazing. We'll be watching, and I mean that, Ivan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
That's Ivan Bebek of Eminent Gold. You can find the ticker EMNT on the Venture Exchange. And of course, go to CEO.CA, search the same ticker, and look at what investors are saying here about some of the things we discussed today. Thanks for watching.